Are they really that much smarter than everybody else? No, it's the fact that they stepped out, they published a book, they built media platforms like a podcast or a video, or they speak on. Those are platforms that people can see you, and it's how people perceive you. It's how what's going on inside their
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
And when they see that you're an Amazon bestselling author, or that you have a podcast, or that you speak on stages, they go, wow, other people are listening. Maybe I should listen too. And they lean in, and then you can, get them involved in your funnels, or however you nurture people,
Right.
because now you've attracted them. How do you nurture them?
Yep.
And then once you gain them as a client, how do you get them to refer you to other people? So it's looking at these platforms as just that, as opportunities to share your knowledge, to educate people, but also to sell them into what you do, because you should have confidence, because you are the expert at what you do. I think where business owners struggle is they're not experts at marketing what they do.
Right. Right.
And
That's
that's where
good.
they struggle. They think it's enough
Good.
just to be an expert. And
And
I'm
I
sorry to tell
help,
you.
like, I coach coaches and
Yeah.
a lot of people who are new into the coaching realm specifically. And I find like their expertise could be in shame. Their expertise could be in healing. Their expertise could be in identity work, all which are incredibly deep and broad concepts
Mm,
that somebody has spent a lot of time digesting, walking through probably their own stories associated to that, and serving. No different than you did with the ministry element. Is if you were to take all of that knowledge and put it into a book, you now could be a marriage coach, right? And
absolutely.
so I really necessary for people to look at being an author or starting a podcast differently, because the platform, the credibility piece is so important. And that will then allow you to actually expand your marketing pieces associated to media. So people will see, like, how does this person have their name next to Forbes? How did this person get on TV? How did this person get on that person's podcast? Talk to us about, I mean, because I'm here, I'm right in cahoots with this conversation. I'm so passionate about it. But I want to hear your lens. Teach us from your book. Teach us from your specific company's build out.
Yeah. So, I mean, you get on all those things because you've built this platform. Number one, we always start with a credible story that is latent inside of our client. I just got off the phone with a brand new client. Okay. He does tax resolution. So when you forget to pay your taxes and the IRS says, hey, Tamara, you're in trouble, you call him. Okay. You call Joe. And Joe's like every other tax resolution guy. They're awesome at what they do. And he's a likable guy. I said, Joe, I mean, why do you travel so much? Because he's told me, he's like, well, my passion, my hobby is I'm a professional volleyball referee. Really?
Interesting.
Tell me
Cool.
about that. He's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of things like in volleyball that they have rules and just like in tax resolution. I said, this is going to be your brand. We're going to brand you as America's official tax resolution specialist. And we're going to weave his story into that, right? Because that's going to separate him and make him the only one in America that does that. Now he's going to be able to get on podcasts, because who wouldn't want America's official tax resolution specialist, right? When he hands his
It's so
book to
good.
his prospects, I mean, they're going to go, wow, you're America's tax resolution? Yeah, I'm America's official tax. What's that do in your mind? It elevates him on his podcast, all of that. He's no longer going to have to chase after prospects and clients, because he is going to position himself as the expert in that entire industry. And it's going to radically change how he does his podcast, how he does his blogs, his emails, his TikToks, whatever he does. He's always going to come back and say, hey, just get a free copy of my book. Now, okay,
Ooh, come on, give us the secret
I
sauce.
will tell you from my perspective, you write your book, become an author, but don't think you're going to get rich selling it on Amazon. You're not. You're on Amazon and Kindle for credibility. You
Mhm.
use your book as lead gen to engage with prospects. You're going to make your money through speaking events, through new clients, through referrals, through centers of influence who send you ideal clients that you can work with. That's where you make your money, not selling it on Amazon and
Right.
Kindle. Okay. So
Right.
just please understand that. But your book is your book, your platforms, your podcast allow you to speak on your area of expertise. Okay, so my book has about, I don't know, 30 chapters in it. There's 30 podcasts, there's 30 videos, there's 30 blog posts, there's 30 emails plus then, because I can probably talk about every chapter, right? But
Yeah.
it allows you to have a clear message and to really simplify your marketing so that you can multiply your revenue because you're consistent over time. And
And
that
I
really is the key to marketing.
Oh, I mean, hold on. He just mic dropped there for a moment. I interjected, but I need you to go back. Burp, rewind. Consistency is the key of marketing, right?
It is
And
consistent. Yeah.
consistency connected to your zone of genius, which is credibility, it just brings you to a whole nother level. I mean, this is where people who gain influence and create that depth and that width of impact that we talked about out the gate, this is where they're gaining it from. I
Right.
have a curious question, just kind of selfishly, because when I first wrote my book, I was a business coach simultaneous to writing this personal, essentially memoir connected to faith. And I had coaches who kind of told me similar things to what you're saying now. And I didn't have in my heart the desire to kit my coaching or how I was making money in the public eye. I really knew that God had called me. It was like a secured conversation with him that I have to write my story, write my story, write my story. And then I had people who said, you might be killing your business by putting this book out.
Mhm.
How do you talk to the person who chooses to write a testimonial book versus a business card book? And how can you encourage the people who have done that alongside myself to say, it's not going to be a death sentence, it's just going to increase your authority?
Yeah, that's great because at the end of the day, Tamara, there. All right, so you do coaches, right? It doesn't matter what coach you're talking to. There are dozens of them out there.
For sure.
How am I going to choose which one? And at the end of the day, I'm going to buy you more than what you do.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. And that's why you revealing your story is so important because it allows me to know you. That's why I love podcasts. That's why I love videos. That's why I love books that tell the story so that you can precondition a prospect to hire you before you ever talk with them through these channels so that when you get on your sales call, it's not a sales call. They
Right.
already know. I had a
Right.
lady pop on last week. She's like, I've talked to her one time before the second call. She's like, Michael, I really feel like I already know you
I love that.
because of how we do our marketing. And that's what I want because when you know me, you trust me, you have confidence in me. And my closing question, Tamara, usually is, Tamara, what would you like to do? Because by then you know and I know if this is the next thing for you. I'm not going to twist your arm and say, okay, well, what closing technique am I going to use here? No, if
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
we
yeah.
both know it. And so let's just get going and tell me what credit card you like to use and we'll make it happen, right?